most of your mountain experience? Come on in. I'm waiting on you. It just must be nice to do whatever you want when you want to. It must just be a blessing just to do that. Those of us who are football fans, we remember the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills, we remember, are the ones that went to the Super Bowl 4 times, but never won one time. They were quarterback was Jim Kelly, and the tragedy is that he was able to make it to the mountain, but he wasn't able to take advantage of the winning any Super Bowl at all. I don't have to just go Jim Kelly. I could talk about, they tease on TNT, they tease Charles Barkley almost every episode. And they tease Charles Barkley every episode because he played 15 years in the league, went to the championship one time but couldn't take advantage because of that man from Chicago called Michael Jordan. But when you look at, this is Women's Month, right? When you look at Venus Williams, everybody talk about Brady the GOAT, Michael Jordan the GOAT. I'm going to suggest to you Serena Williams is the GOAT because she has the record to suggest after going 30 times, she's won the Grand Slam 23. What I'm really trying to extrapolate here, what I'm trying to suggest to you today, is that she had the ability that when she got to the mountain, or when she got to that pivotal moment, she had the capacity to take advantage of the moment. Well, what does Jim Kelly, what does Charles Barkley, what does Serena Williams have to do with us today here on the first Sunday in March? Well, I'm glad you asked such a good question, Alpha, because I think church is coming to the mountain. I think we come here to church, to mountain, to experience God. But I think some of us, including your pastor, become so familiar with the mountain, we don't take full advantage of the encounter that God has for us. I knew you'd get quiet on us. Can I push a little? Can I push this a little bit? Not only do we not take advantage of the mountain experiences, I'd also like to recommend to you that sometimes we take for granted life itself. And because we take for granted life itself, we have an assumption that we'll be in church next Sunday. We have assumption that you'll see the people you'll see, you'll eat with the people you'll eat, you'll dine with the people you dine. But some of us who have lived a little bit and have buried a few folk, you understand that every moment is important. I'm gonna work here, but I don't mind working. And what I'm trying to shake today, my behavioral change in this particular sermonic presentation is not just to get you to shout, to get you to emote, but to get you to think about every moment God gives you and take advantage of it, because no moment is promised. And I think sometimes, church, we get familiar with God. Can I say this to y'all? I don't mean no harm. God does not need you. God was doing all right before you got there. Because I think sometimes when we get blessed, we move church out the equation. I was telling my Bible the other day, it's funny that when you're desperate, you're humble. Isn't it funny how nice people treat you when they want to borrow something from you? Kids even treat you different when they want something from you, don't they? Hey, Dad, how you doing? Just checking on you. Oh, okay. But the moment that they get what they want, you can't even get them to empty a dishwasher. Because when we was growing up, wasn't no such thing as a dishwasher. Come on, help me here. And cleaning them pots took you a day. Because wasn't these no stick pans that they got now. When your mom and dad cooked, them pots were so nasty, you took you an hour just to scrub all that off. and then they had the nerve to come inspect what you washed, and if it was some stains in there, you had to start all over again. They take all the dishes out and say, no, start all over again. I wish I had some folk that grew up in the real world. Because now, the object is not serving God when you need something from him. The object is serving God with the same intensity when he's already blessed you, because you understand he has more to give you. Can I say this to you? God ain't finished with you. If you think God has done all he's going to do for you, you done lost your mind. God says, I want to do some stuff that's going to blow your mind. But the reason why I can't do it for you, because every time I try to bless you, then you act like you don't need me. Isn't it funny how people get a new job and that's their excuse for not coming to church? I feel like having church today. Now all of a sudden, I can't do this because but it was God that gave you the promotion. It was God that opened the door. And matter of fact, when God blesses you, it ought to make you come to church more, because you know you don't deserve it and you're going to need God to keep it. Here's my assertion. Here it is. Church, we have to learn to take advantage of the encounter every time we come to church. One, so that we can survive the world and serve God in the world. Let me see that say. Let me say it again. Every time we come to church, we want to take advantage of God's encounter. One, so that we can survive what's out there. Because sometimes the blessing is in surviving. Sometimes the blessing is going to the job and not cussing them out. And then not only do I want to survive, God has called all of us under the sound of my voice to serve the world. In whatever place, capacity, level you are. Here in this text is tailor-made to teach us about mountaintop experiences. If you recall, they've been delivered out of Egypt, but the theological problem is we always preach Canaan land. God's deliverance from them were dualistic, twofold. He first said, before you get to Canaan, if you remember, deliver my people, Pharaoh, so that they can worship me on the mountain. Then, after they get their identity by worshiping me on the mountain, then I want to take them into the promised land. See, the problem is we're trying to get things without getting worship. And see, I don't want my identity tied into my possession. And when you get stuff without getting God, you'll make stuff your God. But when your identity is tied up in the God, you can lose stuff and still think you're worth something. Can I help you, some of you ladies who dating folk? Quit dating folk that keep taking stuff from you. If every time he get mad, he take the keys, tell him, keep the keys. I'd rather catch the bus than drive anything you give me, because my identity is not tied to what you give me. My identity is tied to whom God made me. And last time I checked, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Is there anybody here that can testify if they take the stuff, you still worth something? And we got to be careful, church, that we don't even identify ourselves with our numbers. I got to be careful with that, because we always brag, us black preachers, on our numbers. How many of you got, Doc? How many of you got, Doc? Sometimes the church is better when it's only 100. Sometimes the bigger it gets, the messier it gets. So we can't even judge our worth on numbers. We got to judge our worth on worship. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And so now he has to get them. Well, how do you, Pastor, take advantage of the mountaintop experience? So I'm glad you asked. Point number one. Understand that God got you to the mountain even when you didn't want to go yourself. God got you to the mountain even when you didn't want to go yourself. Okay, let me look here. In the 3rd month after the children of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on the same day, they came to the wilderness of Sinai. For they departed from Rephidim and had come to the wilderness of Sinai. And they camped in the wilderness before the mountain. Wait now. Excuse me. This is a monumental moment. I thought we ought to wait to shout until we get to the Canaan land. But no, this is shouting time now. Because God delivered them to have an encounter with God so that he could be their God and he their people. It's now at Mount Sinai that God is making an appeal to his people to be their God. He's saying, let me give you what I've done for you so that you can choose me over anything else. Now, it's funny because whenever God gets in the text, you see the tension. When Moses first came to Egypt, what they say? Leave us alone. It would be better for us if we die in Egypt. Remember that? Then they wanted to kill Moses and Aaron because as he's trying to liberate them, the Egyptians are enslaving them because sometimes when you're in a struggle so long, you don't know what freedom looks like. Can I work just a minute, y'all? I want to help somebody today because I want to help. Is there anybody here besides me that gets nervous when things start going right? I thought I was by myself. When things start getting right, you start saying, oh, wait a minute. Because you're so used to trooping. Come on here. You're so used to battling. When peace comes, you don't know how to act. Come on. And what that comes from is an Egypt mentality. So they're battling. Right? Remember, as they were crossing the Red Sea, Pharaoh was behind them. And this is what they said to Moses. There were no graves in Egypt. Then they see Pharaoh swallow up. Now, to me, I would think that after I see my enemy get swallowed up at the river now, I would sign on the dotted line and say, I'm all yours. Don't you think that? One chapter later, when they got thirsty, did you bring us out here to die of thirst? Wait a minute. If God can do the greater, you better always understand he can do the lesser. Y'all missed that. Let me say that. If God can save your soul, the greater, he can open up a door, a job, the lesser. So then he gives them, watch this, water out of the rock. And then they get hungry and they say, have not the Lord brought us out here to starve? God says, okay, you want to keep playing with me? I'm going to let manna flow from heaven. Since you think I can't provide for you, every day manna going to drop. But the only day it ain't going to drop is on day number 7. Because despite how much I bless you between day 1 and 6, you better give me the glory on day 7. But if you touch with my 7, I'm going to mess with your 6. They fussed and said when they gave them manna, this is what they said, we ain't got no meat. That sounds like a Black Baptist church to me. Have we got no chicken? Y'all looking at me talking about, you the main one talking about, I know. That's quite hypocritical. Then when they got through that, they got thirsty again and complained again. As if all that God had just done, they just erased it. Alpha, can I ask you a question? Why are we so easy to erase the good stuff, but we know how to remember the bad? We can get up here and talk about the storms of yesterday like they happened 2 minutes ago. But I ain't heard nobody talk about what God is doing. How come we can't testify as strongly about what God is doing opposed to how man has failed us? Can I tell you, can I push a little bit? As long as you live, people gonna fail you. Because people are not God. And as long as God is still opening doors for you, as long as God is still waking you up in the morning, as long as God is still healing you, sometimes you ought to be more thankful for what God is doing and stop complaining on what man is not doing. Because whatever man can't do, you better trust God can do. Y'all not going to go where I'm going today. I'm glad I got you. See, just because a door closes over here, that does not mean you ought to throw a pity party. What you should do is thank God, because God didn't want that person to bless you. Because if they blessed you, they would have took the glory. But God says, I'm going to open a door that no man can close. Just praise me and watch what I do. Watch it here. I'm working here. Work here. Somebody say, preach, pastor. Despite all of that, all the no's, all the murmuring, all the complaining, the verse says, they ain't Mount Sinai. God has a way to get us to the right place, even though we fought against it the whole time. Okay, how can I make this plain? Here you go. Y'all, I'm okay with the navigation system until it takes me a way I haven't been before. I'm good as long as it takes me the way I remember. I'm good. But when it starts going a whole different way, I say, oh, wait now. Because I only believe the only way to get to Delaware is over the Dale Memorial Bridge. That's my belief. You know why? Because that's the way I come. Now, on this particular day, the navigator going to take me a different way. Commodore Barry. First of all, I didn't even know it was a bridge. Commodore Barry. You can't get to Delaware to no Commodore Barry Bridge. So the whole way, I'm kicking and screaming against the navigation system. Make it right here. This ain't no way to make no right, baby. We're supposed to make a left. And say, just listen to somebody. You think you'd pass over everything. The shame is that's just what she said, too. I ain't lying. Go straight over this way. I said, baby, we ain't never been this way no before. Here I go. Make sure we put in the right address. She said, you put in 2020, 5 Dancer Lane. I said, make sure it's Delaware. Yeah, come on, y'all. Y'all know you know I'm telling the truth. So it takes us this whole different way. I'm complaining the whole time until I start recognizing, y'all with me here. And then in 10 minutes, this is what I said. You arrived at your destination. And then here, this is what I said to Ebony. See, you got to start listening to the navigation system. What I'm saying to you is, God will get you to places even though you have kicked, fought against. Come on here. Is there anybody here thankful that God did not answer your prayer? That he said no some stuff? Because had he said yes, you would not be where you are right now. He gets us by his spirit to the right place despite of us. It's almost like a spiritual movement that he calculates our stupidity and says, okay, we need to have this. So not only am I thankful that I'm at the right place, but I'm also enamored by his power to get me there. He said, hey, first of all, let me read the verse so I don't think I'm lying. And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountains. The Lord went up to God, and Moses went up to God, and the Lord called him from the mountains, saying, hey, man, this is what I want you to tell Jacob and all the children of Israel. You've seen what I've done to the Egyptians, and how I bore you. Look at this imagery. Eagle's wings. Ain't that what yours say? And I brought you on the wings. and basically, I flew you out of it. Stop telling people you walked out of it. Stop looking down on people that's in the stuff you was in. Talk about, but when I got saved, I can no. You didn't walk out of it. God got you out of it. It's here in the text that now Yahweh is pushing his agenda. He said, now wait. The reason why I want you to choose me is, have you seen what I've done to your oppressor? When Pharaoh was against you, I was for you. And I came through with what we call proof of presence. The plagues was just to prove to him that there was somebody that had more power than he did. And then he says, wait now, not only did I do that, this term eagle, the first thing when you see an eagle, always in scripture, is an eagle always fights for the weakest. It's naturally embedded in an eagle that whatever an eagle's weakest child becomes the favorite, y'all missing it here, and becomes the one she fights for. You want to mess with a mama eagle? You go ahead and mess with a mama eagle's young baby child. And a mama eagle will turn into a nasty lion. And God says, when I bore you up on eagle's wings, I knew you was too weak to fight for yourself. Woo! I knew you didn't have the strength, you didn't have the veracity, you couldn't have the capacity to deal with the storm by yourself. So what I did was I bore you up on eagle's wings. You better stop acting like you got out of your circumstances by your own power and your own might. The devil is a liar. Is there anybody here can testify you are where you are because God picked you up, turned you around, placed your feet on solid ground? Do I got any company in the room that can say God did it for me? Eagle's wings. Okay. Here it is. Every year, my wife has fell in love with this bird called Bella. That's right. That's what I say. She plants a nest every year in front of my house. In front of my house, where I paid the mortgage. Bella's so gangster. She makes us go out the back door for 4 months. For 4 months. Until her baby's birthed. And if you go out that front door, y'all missing it. God has made your enemy go out the back door because he says there's some fights you ain't strong enough to fight. So stop. Oh, thank you. I'm starting to thank God for the fights I didn't have to get into. The stuff that he fought for me, the stuff that he went for me, had it not been for the Lord. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, the reason why you got the victory is because God got it for you. Now give God the praise and tell him thank you. No. Give him the praise and tell him thank you. You know what, church? When you look back over your life, come on, y'all. Just look back retrospectively right now. It makes no sense that you were able to be where you are if God didn't bring you out on eagle's wings. Come on, talk to me here. Do I got any company in the room that your life gives God the glory? That, matter of fact, the fact that some of y'all here right now is a testament that God bore you on the eagle's wings. He now pleads his case, and he says, now that I got you to Mount Sinai, and now that I've done it by my power, will you go with me? That's basically what it says. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you what it says. He says, now therefore, if you'll obey my voice, keep my commandments, you'll be my special treasure. He's saying to them, he says, up until this point, we were dating. And he says, now, if we're going to move further, I'm going to need some commitments. See, we love to shout. We love to shout and dance when we don't have to do nothing and God does everything. See, them sermons are home run sermons. As long as I keep your human responsibility out of your church experience, we'll have a good time flying the United Skies. Huh? But sometimes you got to do something in order for you to get something. I know you like coming here and want to make Alpha Worship Center Atlantic City. We can just throw something in there, boom, jackpot. And if y'all hit, y'all meet me and Arrow in the back. We want to discuss our financial structure. Pray for your pastor. Okay, let me give you an example. My son-in-law is here today. He's here right there. Right? Before he was my son-in-law, he was a good brother. He was. But I didn't listen to nothing he had to say when it came to my daughter. Because talk is cheap. But when he put that ring on the finger, that's when daddy's got to say, now it's time for you to shut up. And then when I saw the size he put on there, first of all, I want to say, now that wasn't right because now you got your mother-in-law wanting the little cheap ring I got her for $250. The ring I got her at the bubblegum machine, now she looking at me all side-eye. She didn't know I was a baller on a budget, but that's a whole nother. That has nothing to do with the mess. Come on, talk about him. But when he made the commitment, now the relationship goes to another level. Are you with me here? God says, I'm not going to keep blessing you if you don't want to get married to me. Okay. My son-in-law is good to my. Now, if Chazzy would have said no, I don't think he would have bought her something next Christmas. And if he did, it might have been a lollipop. Because it comes a point in the relationship where we got to go to the next level. And God says our relationship can't be just on me getting you out of trouble. But the relationship requires some commitment on your end, some responsibility on your end. So stop missing church just because it's raining. God told me to tell you, the next time you take off on him, I'm going to take off on you. He says, wait a minute. Now watch this, y'all. His ordinances are not to bless him. And you parents know what I'm talking about. When you give rules to your kids, it ain't for you. That's not an 8A get that blesses you. It's not like you go to your job and they say, we're going to give you a 10,000 bonus because your child got an A. Their grades are for them. You're trying to get them to come in early because of them. You're already where you are. So God is saying this, when I'm telling you to come to church, when I'm telling you to believe me, I'm not doing it because I need you to come. The rocks will cry out if you don't show up. I'm trying to get you to do the right thing for you. Watch this. So that you can be, I love this. I'm almost through. Chosen vessel. Chosen. Ambiguous term. Means special and hoarder at the same time. Comes out of someone who has a special treasure, but they hoard it. Okay, here you go. Here it is. I told my wife a month ago, I said, listen, I'm going to clean out the closet. She did a bow face on the highway. I could hear the tires skirting. And like Superwoman, when I turn around with the trash bags, she look at me dead in the eyeball. Because my definition of cleaning, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Because if you ain't wore it in 2 years, then you must ain't need it. But you know how you women are. Come on, women, don't leave me out here. Y'all got stuff in your closet that you have not worn in years. And see, y'all men leave me when I get on these points. Y'all men look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. All you married men like, I don't know what. Don't pastor know the marriage symposium. Y'all sitting there like, thank you, Brother Rodney. Got one friend. Y'all sitting there like, I don't know what he talking about. My wife ain't got nothing extra in the closet. Come on here. At least the single brothers can give me a holler. And my wife will pull something up. And I say, baby, I don't really like that no more. And here's what it is. It's special because it's special to me. Y'all missed it. Woo! God says, I'm like a hoarder. The angels think I should throw you away. Oh, God. And the angels have seen all of the dumb stuff you've done. And they trying to figure out to me, just get a bag and throw them all out. But God says they're special not because they're special because I love them. And that's what y'all missing what I'm saying. I'm coming to tell you, you're his prized possession because he designed it that way. Watch this. Prized possession over all the rest of humanity. That's what it says. Prized possession of all the rest of humanity. That means God is into you big time. God is intrinsically invested, involved in you individually. Y'all missing this here. Let me stay right there. God. Let me help you single folk out. The reason why you don't got to be desperate, because God, Brother Reverend Brown, is into you. And it's not that he's just into you quasi-fair. He's into you big time. So much so, when you wake up in the morning, you only wake up because he kisses you with the breath of life. I wish I had some folk that's thankful to be alive today. I would have had some people that can give God praise over breath this morning. That you don't need a car, you don't need a house. You're thankful that he woke you up this morning. And the fact that he started you on your way. Listen, don't let them beat you down on your job. Don't let them beat you down. You got to learn, Timmy, that they can say whatever they want to say. If you call me a 6'2" white boy, I'm going to look at you funny and laugh. Won't even pay you no mind. The reason why? Because I'm not 6'2". Well, y'all don't got to go all there. Y'all are. And I'm not white. I'm a 5'8". I ain't telling y'all my weak devil is a lie. Y'all be, none of y'all business. Just, hey, just know I'm trying. Now stop. Y'all gonna quit hurting my feelings when I preach. Got people sneaking me cake like I'm a criminal. I'm serious. People sneaking me cake under the door. And I'm taking it right under the door. I'm taking it. But just because they dog you on your job, you ain't got to go tit for tat. When you know who you are, you can sit right next to the boss and laugh and smile and say, I'm fearfully, because this job is your life, but it ain't my life. My life is in Jesus, and I got joy when I go home at night, and you upset because you ain't got Jesus. I'm done. Here's the responsibility. I'm done. I want to turn you in to members, from members to priests. That's what he says here. He says, I'm done. Shall be the kingdom of priests and the holy nation. I'm going to work this and I'm done. The tension of the text is challenging because he's calling them priests before there's even any priests. Ain't no Levi yet. We thought in a black culture that the only person that's responsible for priestly work is the black preacher we hire. Ooh. We assumed. God says, no. I want to make all y'all priests. All of you should be ambassadors for me out there. People should look at you out there and say, I want to be just like them. Now, don't you go home and go get your grandmama's big Bible. I know what you're about to do. Don't you go to work, get fired, talk about my pastor said be a priest, and start preaching at lunchtime. That's not what I'm talking about. Pastor, I lost my job. We need benevolence. We're going to say, well, you might want to find another place to worship. No, it's it's every day in your life where people realize there's something different about you because of the God that's in you. Is there anybody here ready to take what we do in here out there? Is there anybody that knows people in your family that need what happens in here to happen in them in their lives? Is anybody tired of keeping all this good stuff to themselves and ready to go from membership to priest? I'm done. We used to go to Cheney, and I'm going to end on this story, and we used to take underprivileged kids at the Housing Authority to Cheney University for a week. Every summer, we take people from Roosevelt Manor. Boys, people have never went outside of Camden to Cheney University. And this one time, one of my boys, one of the messengers, going home to be with the Lord, Rashid, as soon as he got on the campus, he run around like a mad fool, just like crazy fool, every which way he go. I said, man, come on, man, you got to behave. Okay. Give him a timeout. 5 minutes later, hey, man, Rashid in the dorm, he done snuck in the girls' dorm. Go over there and get him. I said, Lord Jesus. We go get him every 5 minutes. So one time we eating pizza at night. I said, why are you so bad? Why you come up here and act a fool? He said, well, Pastor, Chad at the time, I don't know the next time. He said, I don't know the next time I'll have the privilege to get out of Camden and come up here to Cheney. So I made a commitment to make the best out of every moment because it might be my last time. Y'all missed it. I come here to tell you that every time you come to church, you ought not come laissez-faire. You ought to come with a spirit of praise and a spirit of worship because you don't know if this might be your last time. Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor. Come on, look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, you got to excuse me. I got to give God the praise like it's my last time. Y'all missing it. Go find you somebody else. Come on, go find your neighbor. Go find you somebody and say, neighbor, I don't know if this is my last time, but I'm coming to give God the glory and give him all of the praise. One more time for the Holy Ghost. Go grab somebody by the hand. Grab you somebody. Grab you somebody. Grab them by the hand. Rock them and shake them. Shake them and rock them. Say, neighbor, this might be my last time. And if it is, I'm going out with a bag. Now give God a praise. Now give God a praise. Now give God a praise. Open up your mouths and tell God thank you. Thank you for bringing me. Thank you for lifting me up. Thank you for carrying me out on eagle's wings. Is there anybody here that's thankful this afternoon for how far God has brought you? Just do me a favor. Touch yourself and say, self, God has brought you a mighty long way. Y'all not helping me preach. Say, nobody told you that it would be easy, but he brought you. Say yes, say yes, say yes, say yes. Won't he do it? Everybody standing. Hey.